I'd like to thank my beautiful fiance, Jessie Moses. She is the mother of my children. She is my future wife. She is my nutritionist, my security guard, she does it all.
1 hour later.
It's hard to bring this guy to Las Vegas for any reason. The city is not good for Jon Jones. And here we are again.
What was your reaction when you first got the news that there had been another incident?
It's like it's not even shocking anymore. It's when we bring him here, it's almost expected. You know, you can't even get him in Las Vegas for less than 12 hours to induct him into the Hall of Fame. It's a problem. You know, this guy's got a lot of demons, man. A lot of demons.
What is up, guys? So Jon Jones had gotten into some trouble only hours after his Hall of Fame UFC speech. And, people were wondering what happened with Jon Jones. Well, here we have the police report, which details what exactly got Jon Jones locked up. So we'll go ahead and zoom in here at the top part of this document. And, of course, his name is Jonathan. Middle name is Dwight. May not have known that, but his last name is Jones. Jonathan Dwight Jones got arrested on 9/24/21. And the two charges / offenses that he had was domestic battery to the first degree and injuring / tampering with a vehicle. Damages over $5,000. So let's go ahead and start reading the details of probable cause. Basically why Jon Jones is in this mess to begin with. So on September 24th, 2021 at approximately 05:08 hours, Officer Pachetti, Officer Lang, and Officer Johnson had a P-180-23 while operating as marked patrol units. M38, M12, and M35 were dispatched to the Caesars Palace located at 3570 South Las Vegas Boulevard, Las Vegas, Nevada, in reference to a domestic disturbance that occurred in room 6716. Details of the call stated that a battery occurred between a white female adult as she was bleeding from her nose / mouth and a black male adult who is a professional MMA fighter. Upon arrival, I contacted Caesar Palace's security, who stated the suspected black male adult involved had just left property wearing a blue long-sleeve shirt and jeans and was walking with two Hispanic or white male adults. Officer Lang broadcasted over the radio the suspect description, and as they immediately captured the black male adult walking northbound on the boulevard on Fusion Watch cameras, the black male adult was then detained by Officer Northcutt in the crosswalk of the Mirage. The black male adult was verbally identified as Jones. Jonathan, date of birth, 1987. As Jones was being detained, he became irate and smashed his head onto the front hood of the Las Vegas Police Department patrol vehicle, leaving a medium-sized dent as well as chipping off some of the paint on the vehicle. Estimated cost of the damage left on the vehicle is around Rescue 212 AMR 101. I believe the damage left on the vehicle was $5,000 plus, like we read before. I don't know if this is a typo or not, but anyways, I'll continue. Rescue 212 and AMR 101 arrived on the scene to check out Jones. I later made contact with the white female adult in Caesar's security office, who was verbally identified as Moses Jessie, date of birth 1987. Moses stated that she is engaged to Jones and have been together for 17 years and have 3 children together. When asked if they had been arguing at all during the night, she stated no. Moses stated that they were together up until around 22:30 hours on 9/23/2021, and that when Jones went out with his friends, as Moses stayed in her room. When I asked Moses what happened, she said she was sleeping and Jones came back and was not very happy. When asked if anything got physical, Moses said, not too physical, but a little bit, yeah. When asked how it got physical, Moses said he touched the back of my head and pulled my hair a little bit, but he did not hit me or anything. When asked why Jones pulled her hair, Moses said because I was trying to leave the room. I observed blood all over Moses' clothing and a bump with dried up blood on the lower part of her lip, as if she was in a physical altercation. Moses was unaware of anything happening to her lip and said, I know, they are really dry. Around 0500 hours today, 9/24/2021, Jones came back to the room and was intoxicated and was acting aggressive. A voluntary statement was obtained by Caesar's security guard Vila Cassandra, which stated at 0435 hours, Moses arrived at the security booth asking to get a key to her room. Vila then explained that she would have to go to the front desk to get another key, but then realized she had blood on her lip and her clothing and asked if Moses was okay. She immediately began to tear up. Vila then asked if she felt scared to go back to the room, and she explained that she was scared to go back to the room. Moses then advised that she did not feel safe going back to the room, so she was taken to the security officer with her children. Vila then stated that the youngest child of Moses made a comment saying, "Can you call the cops?" After Jones was detained, his wrestling coach Martinez, Israel, explained to Officer Northcutt that he received a call from Jones after the incident to come meet up with him at Caesars. Due to the above facts and circumstances that Jones did willfully and unlawfully use force and violence upon the person of another with whom he shares a domestic relationship by grabbing Moses by her hair as she was attempting to leave the room, to go along with the inconsistency of the bump on Moses' bottom lip with blood splattered on her clothing, leaving me with reason to believe there was a battery and probable cause for Jones to be in violation of domestic battery. Jones also damaged a patrol vehicle by slamming his head on the front hood of the patrol vehicle, causing it to leave a medium-sized dent and a paint being chipped off. Jones was also in violation of destroying/injuring public transportation, police, fire truck, whatever. Jones was placed under arrest and transported to CCDC and booked accordingly. Police department was notified and responded to the scene, and the following is a synopsis of their investigation. On 9/24/2021, Detective T. Bird responded to a domestic disturbance at Caesar Palace Hotel. Details of the call stated patrol officers had the suspect, Jonathan Jones, date of birth 1987, in custody. The victim, Jesse Moses, date of birth 1987, was in the security room of the hotel with security officers. I, along with Detective Mason and Sergeant Baker, responded to conduct an interview with Jesse. Jesse did not want the interview to be recorded and did not want to fill out a voluntary statement. She stated she was in her bed of the hotel room when Jonathan returned after being out drinking with his friends. She said he was aggressive but not violent with her. She would not go into detail about the aggressive behavior, but said she did not feel safe in the room with him. She grabbed her 3 daughters and left the room. Prior to getting her daughters, Jonathan grabbed her by the back of her hair and pulled her back towards the room. She said she didn't feel like he was keeping her from leaving, but said he didn't want her to leave. She then got away from him, grabbed the kids, and left the room. She went to the security desk to get another room because she did not want to be around Jonathan. She had dried blood around her lips, chin, and all over her sweatshirt. There was even blood on the rear elbow portions of her sweatshirt. She also had a swollen lower lip, red mark to upper right cheek, and was visibly upset and seemed scared to even talk about Jonathan. She would not allow detectives to take photos of her injuries, but did allow us to view the hotel room. She gave verbal consent to enter the room. Detectives, along with a uniformed patrol officer with a body camera, entered room 6716. As we entered the room, Jesse's cell phone was face down near the stairs. She took us to the bedroom where she said the altercation took place. There was blood on the bed sheets, as well as shoes strewn about. There were 2 fresh tissues on the floor. The rest of the room appeared to be well kept, with clothing and other items packed away and not out of place. As detectives were leaving, Jesse asked, "So how long do I have until he is out?" She still seemed very scared as to the release of Jonathan from jail. She was provided a domestic violence blue card with information on obtaining a protection order, which she said she did not want at this time. On 9/24/2021, I, along with Detective Mason, conducted a recorded interview with Jonathan at Convention Center Area Command. I read Jonathan his rights per Miranda at 7:47 a.m., which he responded, "Yes, sir," indicating he was willing to speak with detectives. Prior to even reading Jonathan his rights, he was extremely agitated with Las Vegas Police Department and said he will have a huge lawsuit with the department for putting him in handcuffs on the biggest night of his life. After reading him his rights, he immediately broke down into tears and started to tell us about his night. His emotions were all over the place, going from extremely agitated with us to talking calmly to crying. He went on to tell us he and his wife Jessie were going through a lot recently. The two have been arguing about the tension between them, but he never got physical. He said he couldn't remember the last time he saw his wife, other than kissing her and his kids by at the loading dock of the hotel. He said later he remembered going back up to the room and getting $10,000 and telling Jessie he was going to the strip club. She had no problem with that. However, an argument started over the relationship. He said he told her to F off without actually telling her that. He said he couldn't remember what happened when he left. He said he never touched her, never pulled her hair, never saw her with a bloody nose, but also did not remember walking out of the hotel. He said he was agitated when the police took him into custody for no reason and headbutted the patrol vehicle. He was very agitated when asked about the damage he did to the patrol car. After the interview, I notified him we would be getting him to jail for the domestic violence as well as the damage to the patrol vehicle. He thanked me and started joking about the arrest. He stated jokingly that he would like to take us all on and see what we could do. While placing him into handcuffs, he jokingly feinted that he was going to escape the handcuffs and fight the officers. When I told him we are not playing and that he would be tased if he did it again, he apologized and complied with being put into handcuffs. Again, this shows the emotional roller coaster Jonathan displayed during the interview and arrest. He was then transported to CCDC and booked accordingly.